Hey guys, it's Kara. I figured I would do a quick video of my ultralight gear list for 2022. This is just stuff that works for me. This is stuff that I've kind of pared down over the last 2 years. So my base weight is down to about 7.5 pounds. When I'm by myself, when I go with my partner, it's going to be a little different, and I will explain that at the end of the video. So I packed all my gear into my pack, so I figured I would start with the pack itself, what I have on the outside, and then just dig into what's on the inside. So the pack is the Superior Wilderness Designs Ultralight Superior 30. It's a 30-liter pack. It's made out of the Ultra 200 material. It's frameless, it's super comfortable. The way I have it set up now, I took some of the extra straps off. It's 17.5 ounces. And the only thing that I have added to it besides the shock cord is this little WEBO shoulder strap pocket. It weighs 1 ounce. It's got a waterproof zipper, and it's got this Lycra stretchy sleeve on the front. So my phone is what's gonna go in here. I usually take my first aid kit out and throw it in here for my Ditty bag, but not always. And then in the front, I really just keep this little Lightsmith spray bottle that's full of sanitizer. And I got this little RovyVon flashlight. It weighs 1/2 ounce. The max lumens is 650, and the body glows in the dark, which doesn't really sound like a big deal, but if you're in your tent at night and you need it, or if you drop it when it gets dark, leaving it in here lets it kind of soak up the sun during the day, and having something that glows in the dark makes it really easy to find when you need it. And the only other thing on the shoulder strap is this little Spyderco Dragonfly. I used to carry one of those little razor blades in a little plastic sheath, and my dad was the first one to point out that that was not a substantial knife, so we agreed on this. It's a 1.2 ounces. It's definitely bigger and sturdier than having just a little razor blade. It's bright orange, so it's easy to find if it falls off. It makes him happy, so it makes me happy. It's one less thing that he has to worry about. So for the shoulder straps, that's about it. In the side pocket, I always have a 700 milliliter either Life Water or Smart Water bottle with a sport cap. The small one I use to put like electrolytes in. I use like the Noon tablets or something like that. And I'll filter them from a 1 liter bottle into this. Usually I have a 1 liter bottle, but I'm just getting over being sick, so I threw it out. But on my 1 liter bottle, I will always have the Sawyer squeeze. So I will filter water from the bigger one into the small one for the electrolytes. And then if I get lazy, I will drink right out of the 1 liter bottle, right off of this. So I always have a Sawyer squeeze. In the front pocket, I keep my tent stakes. So they're just in a Zpacks stake bag. There's 6 mini groundhogs and 2 of the Zpacks carbon core stakes. And then the only other thing really in the front pocket is my Ditty bag. So this is just a 1 liter bag from Hightail Designs. So I keep a light load towel, a little dropper bottle of Doc Bronners. I have my little mini toothbrush with the cap on it. I know this adds a couple grams, I'm sure, but it's so much nicer to know that you have a clean toothbrush. Plus it lasts way longer when you keep the cap on it. And then in this, I usually have tooth powder, but I was too lazy to take it out of the bigger container. So this is just a little tiny jar from Lightsmith. It's got a screw-on cap, and then tooth powder goes in this. And the only other thing I really keep in here is my first aid kit. It's very small. It just has some Leuko tape, duct tape, some KT blister patches. It has a couple pills in here, probably ibuprofen, an extra O-ring for my water filter. I always keep one of those just in case, because if the one I have in there breaks or gets lost, it's a pain in the ass. And then I have some patches for my sleeping pad. And then this doesn't always end up in the Ditty bag. It is right now. My electronics bag, which is just a Ziploc bag. And in here I have the Nightcore 10,000 milliamp power bank. This thing weighs like 5.5 ounces, I think. It's the lightest 10,000 power bank I can find. It's got like a carbon fiber body. It works really well. It's super fast. It's quick charge. And then with that, I have the Nightcore wall charger, quick charge. And I have the cord for the power bank. And then this is just the little cord for the RovyVon flashlight. Now going into the pack, let's see. First thing I have in here is my tent, which is the Zpacks Duplex. This is the dirt brown color. It's the thicker DCF. It weighs 21 ounces. It is a 2-person tent. The majority of the time I'm backpacking, I'm going with my partner, so it will fit 2 people, not super comfortably, but it's still light enough and small enough that I can take this by myself. Usually I don't keep it inside the pack because I don't use a ground sheet, so there's usually, you know, the bottom is a little damp or there's condensation, so I'll throw the stuff sack inside the backpack and then just lightly roll the tent and strap it to the top so that it'll dry out either on its own during the day, or if it's really wet because it was raining, I will lay it out flat to dry on the trail somewhere. The next thing is my rain jacket. It's just the Outdoor Research Helium 2. It's not the best. It doesn't have pockets. It doesn't have pit zips, which you definitely sweat a lot in this, but it's not a bad jacket. It keeps me dry for the most part besides sweat, and for a men's small, it's 5.6 ounces. So I will keep this until it wears out, and then I will probably upgrade to something like the Enlightened Equipment Visp, just because it has pit zips and it just makes a huge difference. Next is my Enlightened Equipment jacket. It's the Torrid Apex, the one with the full zipper. I love this thing. It does not pack down as small as my down jacket did, but it's super warm, it's super comfortable. I have kind of long arms and the sleeves are like overly long, so it's perfect when it's cold. I can actually put my hands inside the sleeves and I don't have to wear gloves. So I love this thing. Next is my food bag. Got it from Cloud Gear Bags. So I'm cold soaking this year, which is a first for me. I really never cooked anything other than dinner anyway, because I just had bars and snacks for breakfast and lunch throughout the day. So in here, the only thing I really have is the rock bag. And then my cold soak jar, which is just another little jar I got from Lightsmith. And inside of it is a titanium spork that I snapped in half just to make it small enough to fit in here. I'll either bring this or just like a cheap plastic spoon. This happened to be what fit in here, so I threw it in there. So no stove, no fuel to have to carry, so that'll be new this year. But like I said, I only ever really cooked dinners, and it was either ramen or the instant mashed potatoes, which potatoes are just as good cold or lukewarm, so I'm definitely gonna try cold soaking. Next is my clothes bag, which also doubles as my pillow. This is just a medium stuff sack from Mountain World Designs, I think. Super light, it's like 0.4 ounces, something like that. Inside here, I have a pair of Brooks running shorts, which are the same ones I have on right now. They're 7-inch shorts, they have pockets, they have a liner, they're super comfy. So I will wear one during the day for hiking, and then I'll have one for sleeping and for in town. For a sleep shirt or a town shirt, I just got Outdoor Research Echo Tee. It's super light, it packs on really small, it weighs like 2.6 ounces. It's the lightest t-shirt I've found, so it's perfect for that. I have ex officio undies that I wear. I swear by those when I'm hiking. And then the last thing in the bag is, these are Darn Tough socks. I always wear just the short crew cut socks. I'm not the biggest fan of Darn Tough. I actually prefer the Smart Wool hiking socks. I get less blisters with those. They have better padding, I think. These happen to just be what I had with me. But as far as clothes, I'll bring an extra pair of underwear and socks. If it's a really long trip or if it's going to be really hot in the summer, I might bring an extra pair of underwear and an extra pair of socks. And then just a t-shirt and some shorts to sleep in or to go to town in. Pretty simple. Next is my sleeping pad. It's the Thermarest NeoAir Xlite. This is the short torso length pad. It's kind of loud when you roll around on it, crinkly, but it's pretty comfortable. It's warm. I usually curl up in a little ball to go to sleep, so the torso length is perfect. And if I do decide to stretch out, I can just put my pack underneath my feet, and it's comfortable enough to get some sleep. And the last thing in the pack is my quilt, which is the Enlightened Equipment Enigma 30-degree quilt, just inside their stuff sack. I love this thing. It's super warm. It's super comfortable. Between this with the closed foot box and the Thermarest pad, I'm never really cold. So yeah, this has been great so far. I really like it. And that's it. So my base weight when I go by myself is just over 7.5 pounds. A lot of times I'm backpacking with my partner, so because we have a 2-person tent, in order to adjust the weight, if we're gonna cook, she can carry the stove, which is usually just a little BRS stove that weighs not even an ounce, and the fuel can. If we're both gonna cold soak, I will probably end up giving her my electronics bag, which weighs with the cords and the power bank somewhere around 8.5 ounces. So if I'm backpacking with her, my base weight drops to about 7.25 pounds, which is not bad. Most of my backpacking is going to be over the summer. I do work for a public school, so I have the entire summer off. So I was very careful in choosing my gear to make sure that everything is pretty much versatile enough for 3-season backpacking. I don't do winter backpacking. It's just not my thing right now. But all the gear that I have will work for all 3 seasons, and the only thing that really has to change is the clothing. So we live in Connecticut. If we're backpacking here over the summer, it might get down to the 50s at night. So the Enlightened Equipment jacket is probably not going to make it with me. If it's somewhere hotter, we're thinking about doing the Lone Star Trail in Texas. That in the summer, I mean, the 30-degree quilt is definitely going to be overkill, so just something like a fleece liner would probably be enough. So yeah, everything is pretty much set to be fully comfortable for 3 seasons of backpacking. Little minor tweaks with clothing would be pretty much it. But I've managed to drop my base weight about 3 pounds over the last 2 years, and most of that is just eliminating unnecessary stuff. I mean, looking at what I had, everything is pretty much as minimal as possible. There's really nothing extra, not really any luxury items. But it works for me, it's comfortable. I have a back injury, so being ultralight isn't really a choice, it's kind of a necessity. So for me to be comfortable and to be able to go backpacking for multiple days, I need everything to be as comfortable and light as possible. So I've worked really hard to get a pack that's comfortable, get everything down as light as possible, nothing extra, everything's packed the same way every day, everything's unpacked the same way every day, very minimal, and it works for me. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to leave them underneath. Subscribe if you found any value in this at all. I apologize for my voice, I'm just getting over being sick, and this is my last day of quarantine, so I figured I would put the video out today. Thank you for watching, and I will put a description of all of the items and the weight underneath, so if you're interested in anything, it'll be all listed out right there. Thank you for watching.